So I'm sitting here with Lachlan from Ritz Cinema in Randwick. For the record, please state your full name and occupation.
I'm Lachlan McLeod. I'm the General Manager of the Ritz Cinema.
And Lachlan, how long have you been the General Manager of Ritz Cinema?
About 3.5 years now.
Okay. And how does someone land such an awesome job?
I've been in the industry for about 12 years. I started out as a junior booker in distribution at United International Pictures, and then worked my way up in the sales department through that. And then I took some time off and moved overseas to Canada, where I worked at a film festival, at the Toronto Film Festival, and then slowly moved my way into the world of cinemas through that, and then came back and was lucky enough to land the job here.
How do you walk away from a job at TIFF?
It's very seasonal.
Oh, of course.
So it's like 3 months of like intense work and then 9 months off. So
that sounds very cool though.
It's very cool. It was an amazing experience, but yeah.
Okay. What's the best part of your job here at Ritz?
I think my favourite part is probably programming the cinema, getting to watch all the new release films and just be part of that, but also retrospective programming as well, like putting together programs of old films, classic films, horror films, stuff like that.
Okay, well that's awesome, because that's what I'm here to talk to you about mostly, is the retro programming here, because you've got a great one here at Ritz Cinema. But what I find most interesting about your job is that, in part, you are responsible for their education or movication for a lot of people who have never seen these films. So when you program Singing in the Rain or The Fifth Element or Titanic, you are potentially bestowing these films on a first-time audience. So for people like you and I, we've seen them 100 times and we could probably quote them, but there's a whole generation of people that are seeing these movies on the big screen for the very first time. That's a huge responsibility.
Yeah. I guess doing retrospective programming for a cinema, you kind of have to put some of your personality into it as well. So if I'm educating the people who are coming to all these screenings, they're also going to see all the films that I like, as well as the films that I think they should see. So I think some of the programs are very me, and some of the programs are just classic films that I think everyone should be watching.
So you have abused your position of power and programmed your favourite films?
I think every programmer who does this sort of programming would say the same thing. Yeah. And you can see their personality in what they're doing.
Yeah. If I got to program a cinema, it would be all John Hughes all the time.
That's right.
But that's just me. Okay, so you and a couple other niche cinemas around here in Sydney, you do have a big heavy focus on retro screenings. I'm talking like Orpheum and Golden Age.
Yeah.
What do you think is behind this resurgence in the retro screenings?
I'm not sure exactly. I think it's probably a mixture of a few things. I've been here for 3 years and we've only really started doing heavily retro stuff in maybe the last sort of 9 months. I think this winter in particular, the American summer, I think a lot of the new release films weren't as appealing to audiences, and then I think to counteract that, I think a lot of the content on TV is paying homage to a lot of these kind of older films, and I think people are looking to discover them at the cinema as opposed to at home, because that's where they watch all their new release stuff now.
Yeah, but
it's kind of flipped.
But at the same time, do you think streaming services may be responsible, because all of a sudden people have these massive libraries at their fingertips and they're seeing movies that are 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 years old, and it's sort of sparking their interest, and then they look at a cinema program and see that you guys are showing, and they go, oh, okay, well, I want to go see it the way it was meant to be seen. Yeah,
I think especially these like really golden age of Hollywood sort of films, I think they're better experienced on the cinema screen. I think people are starting to realise that that's where they watch those sorts of things, not on a very small screen or on their phone, because they have a sort of prestige to them. So when you're putting together your retro screenings, your program, what are you looking for? I think availability is one thing. Okay. Because as much as I would like to play everything, not everything's available. There's rights issues you have to kind of sort through. And then also because we try to screen as much as we can on actual film, there's hardly anything left, because a lot of it during the digital transition was junked, which is kind of... It's a bit sad. But it makes it more interesting hunting down stuff and finding something really rare. Yeah. Are you present during a lot of these retro screenings? Or is it or you're keeping abreast of it? So which one would you say has had the best reaction? Or like the biggest audience? Or one that came out of left field, like you kind of took a gamble on it, put it in the program, and then went, oh my God, like people turned up to this thing in droves. Yeah. I mean, we've played some pretty big name films like Godfather and Titanic and stuff like that. But I think we were most surprised by Fifth Element. which was just like kind of came out of nowhere. Like we put it out there and everyone just went nuts, and it's still our biggest retro screening that we've had. We pretty much sold out our big 800 seater and then had a couple of other screenings after that were just like a couple hundred people.
Yeah, I recently went to a screening of Spice World, the movie, and
Yeah.
people went, and that was full. That was a 700 seat
Yeah.
cinema that was full, and people went crazy just for the trailer to Titanic.
Right.
Like, that was just the trailer they
Yeah.
were getting excited about. And I was like, oh my God, what would it be like when they actually screen this thing?
Yeah. So I think like we try to keep it original as well, because we have these other cinemas in Sydney who are doing a similar thing.
Yeah.
Rather than everyone playing Dirty Dancing 3 times a year.
Which I don't think is a bad thing.
No, of course not. But we try to find stuff like Spice World and Fifth Element that hasn't been seen in cinemas maybe for a while, and that has a bit of a cult following.
Yeah.
We have a couple of pretty big ones coming up later in the year that I'm really excited about, like a double feature of Bad Boys, which is, I think,
So
going to
good.
go off.
So good. I saw last month, you guys did the Harry Potter marathon.
That's right, yeah.
I'm a mad Harry Potter fan, and I would have come to that, but even that sort of made me just go, clutch my pearls a bit, just go, I don't think I could survive 24 hours in a cinema watching them back to back.
That's right. Well, yeah, our one actually went over 2 days. We gave him a little bit of a break to sleep in between the 4 films. But 8 films and a whole weekend is kind of a big commitment, and it was really the hardcore fans that came and saw that.
Yeah.
But we actually just did another marathon this weekend of Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
The extended editions, which is like insanely long. It's like over 12 hours of film. And it was a massive success, and we had about 500 people here.
So is that bigger, less, or about the same as the Harry Potter marathon?
It was actually quite a bit bigger, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I suppose it's
think
less
the Harry,
of a commitment.
the Harry Potter one was sort of the similar audience but split over 2 days. So, yeah.
Okay, so now I'd like to talk to you about 70mm.
Yes.
So last year, Quentin Tarantino came out with The Hateful Eight, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm guessing you guys got fitted for a 70mm projector, or you already had it?
We got an older one reinstalled. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we kind of, through some contacts that we had in the projection industry, got one installed and then just revamped a little bit.
Okay,
so it's not a brand new one.
So it's not something that the distributors of The Hateful Eight approached you about? It's something that you chose to do once you knew it was on the slate?
Yeah, so I think it was done slightly different in the States, where they actually, Warner Brothers went out and fitted in 70mm in a lot of cinemas. Mm-hmm. In Australia, they kind of just left it up to the cinemas who still had it or who wanted to install it.
So what makes you commit to something like that?
We've always had 35mm. Even when we went to full digital, we had 35mm projectors in here. Mm-hmm. And we were just lucky enough to come across this in mid-2015, a good offer for a 70mm projector, and then it just so happened around the same time that Tarantino announced it.
Yeah.
And we just found it worthwhile to have that.
Are you made aware of films like Dunkirk in the pipeline when you agree to something to
Not
take
really.
on something like that?
The install was really just based off Hateful Eight. Mm-hmm. We were hoping that other people would go down that track, but at the time when we were installing, we didn't even know if it was going to be a big film or not. So we knew that there was some retro 70mm still around at the archive and stuff like that, but it's just been great that everyone's kind of got on the 70mm bandwagon now and starting to release more.
Yeah. So speaking of Hateful Eight, you guys got a pretty big coup last year. You guys got Quentin and Samuel L. Jackson here.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
So our director was actually out at an after party, and she was lucky enough to run into Tarantino and just mentioned that we were screening his film here, and he said, I'd love to come and check out your cinema. And just thinking it was a nice thing to say, but then we got a call from the distributor the next day saying he's going to come and check it out. But we didn't actually know about Samuel L. Jackson until he rocked into the cinema. Yeah.
So here everyone, Quentin Tarantino is a man of his word.
Yeah.
And he is a film purist.
And I think the biggest compliment to us was that he was only meant to just come in and intro and then leave. Mm-hmm. And he saw the projection, the quality of the projection that we had up, and he ended up staying for the whole 3-hour film.
Nice. It's not like he hasn't seen it before.
Yeah, it's probably about the 100th time he's seen it. But
so what's next in store for the 70mm projector? What have you got in the pipeline?
We've actually got a couple of really cool retro prints that I was able to dig up from the National Film and Sound Archive, which the first one's Edward Scissorhands.
Awesome.
And then another one, we've found a really rare print of Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome.
Okay.
which is the only Australian production to ever get released on 70mm.
Yep.
It's a very weird film. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but
I have not, unfortunately.
Yeah. It's really cool though.
Beyond Thunderdome, which one is that?
That's 3.
That's 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
The little known Tina Turner film.
Oh, that's the Tina Turner one. That's pretty cool.
Yes, very cool. And then we're releasing Murder on the Orient Express in 70 as well, which will be the new one. Yeah.
The new one, okay.
So that's our second new release of this year.
Okay. So you guys here at Ritz have also played part in film festivals, and you play National Theatre Live and stuff like that. So is there a mandate or an idea or a reputation that you guys are building towards here at Ritz, or do you just see something cool and you go with it?
Yeah, pretty much.
No, there's nothing wrong with that.
I think we're trying to appeal to a certain audience who likes the arts and who potentially doesn't come to the cinema that much because they prefer to go to the theatre. But then a lot of the theatre productions, the great ones, are kind of in Broadway and in the West End. So it's nice to be able to show them that offering. What we refer to it in the industry is alternative content. So it's just something different to playing the usual Fast and Furious or big new release films. We like to offer that as well as like retro stuff and one-off docos and things like that.
Yeah. So just going back to your retro programming, you said before that you've got some things that are coming in later in the year that you're really excited about. What can you tell us what they are? What do our listeners have to know about and mark in their calendars? And
so, like I said before, we dug up a couple of old 35mm prints of Bad Boys and Bad Boys 2, which haven't been shown since they were first released.
That gets me very excited. That gets me tingly.
We're going to do a Grindhouse-style double feature of that. And I also found a 35mm print of The Wild One, which is Marlon Brando's original bikie film, which pretty much every bikie film has been homaged to after that.
Don't want to do an Easy Rider double feature or something like that?
I think that one needs to stand by itself.
Okay. Yep.
Well done. And then on the flip side, we're starting a new ladies' night program, and we've got 2 of my favourites, Pretty Woman and First Wives Club, playing in November.
So good. So just to clarify, despite you do have long hair, you are not a lady.
No, I'm not.
But you're starting a ladies' night, and these are 2 of your favourite films.
Yes, and my whole management team is ladies. The social media and events manager and my director are all ladies, and they're all very keen to see these films. They were their picks as well. So, but I can't wait to see it. And it's kind of like an eventized screening where you come and get a free glass of bubbly and watch the film, and hopefully come with a big group of friends.
Yeah. Okay. Got to go down nicely with a bit of bubbly. So on top of the retro screenings, you are a regular run-of-the-mill cinema. You play new releases, which means that you are a local to people. You're not just a specialised cinema. You are someone's local. What's your relationship like with your regular customers and the area in which you sit in?
We've been around for 80 years, so I think not just locals who currently live here, but anyone who's really lived in the eastern suburbs in the last 80 years, I think knows the Ritz and has been here and either grew up coming here or came here as a teenager or as a student going to Uni New South Wales. I think everyone really knows it, so I think a lot of people have fond memories of it. And while a lot of our competitors are bigger, more corporate offering than we do, I think everyone will eventually kind of come back here and see films.
Yeah. So now with social media getting bigger and bigger and there's more avenues, so you're able to engage with your customers more, do they influence your programming at all? Especially
Absolutely,
with the retros? Like, does anyone sit there and contact you on Facebook and go, I really want you to play, Drop Dead Fred, or I really, really want you to play Spice World, and you go, oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, we get so many recommendations, especially since we started really playing a lot of retro. It's kind of every day we get someone asking for something new.
Yeah.
But definitely I get ideas for our programs off people requesting it, and I've booked in stuff just purely from someone saying, I'd love to see this.
Do you find the audiences differ between your retro screenings and your new releases?
Yes. Yeah, definitely. I think our main demographic here is kind of 25 to 35-year-old working professionals, sort of people looking for a night off on a Friday or Saturday. We also have a big family audience because we've got pretty affordable prices. And
affordable prices here at Ritz Cinema.
Yes. And then, a big senior audience as well, because this area is pretty ripe for seniors. Okay. Yeah, but then the retro crowd is generally a bit more I guess you'd call it hipster, but probably a bit older than that as well, like 35 to 45-year-olds who saw the original films. And
Okay, awesome. Well, I'm not sure if you've ever listened to one of our SWITCHcasts before. Just nod and say yes.
Yes,
Even if you haven't. Yeah, of course. So I'd like to end this interview with the same way we end each of our podcasts, where we go around and we give a recommendation for a film. So basically, the idea is if you had to tell someone to watch one movie this week, what would it be? New, old, doesn't matter. Like recently there's been Bring It On, Dirty Dancing, The Birds, Requiem for a Dream. So you kind of have to state your film and your pitch. To anyone listening, you only have to watch one film this week. What would it be? What's Lachlan's choice this week?
I'm actually, I'm getting married in a couple of weeks, so I'll pick a romantic route.
Okay.
I think I'd probably recommend Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Because I think it's the most romantic film ever made.
Really?
And yeah, just the idea that people can't fall out of love. I think
the agony and the ecstasy of love.
Kind of romantic. Yeah.
Good choice.
Thanks.
Well done. Thank you very much for talking to me, Lachlan.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Everyone, Ritz Cinema in Randwick. Check it out.